Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 1st. Let's get going. Today's my birthday. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch every day. I appreciate you all. School also starts up today, and I'm unlucky to get called on immediately. Thankfully, I understand basic electronics, so I know the question. At lunch, everyone wants to hang out with the birthday boy, but
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
I decide that on today of all days, I should hang with Kenji. We go get ramen, just like our first time together. He talks through his thoughts and arrives at the conclusion that if he can't find a girlfriend, he'll turn me into one instead. He hands me a choker, and the greatest birthday present I could ever ask for. We never have to see this dork again. I get back from being feminized to discover that Robot Jones is coming to school. After a brief shopping trip, I trade in Rakshasa to make a pair of gloves for Aki. Then, up he hosts Speedo at Game Panic. I close out the night with some studying. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 2nd. Let's get going. The day starts with Maya introducing us to a new classmate, Data. The Hitachi Magic Wand takes a seat next to me, and we proceed with class. I get a text from Akihiko during break, asking me if I could come with him today to run some errands. I happily agree, as I get to spend some time with my senpai. We end up waiting outside Hagakure for a bit, before Shinjiro comes out and we confront him. Aki tells Shinji he needs to join now, as Ken is a part of the team. With no other options, we get our final party member added to our team.
Then count me in.
To celebrate, I play the quiz game at Game Panic, and study before bed. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 3rd. Let's get going. After class, Yukari calls me over, and asks if we can go to the roof to talk in private. When we get there, she apologizes for what she said at Yakushima. I had almost forgot, so I guess I accept her apology. She relates to me, and I form a bond with the popular girl.
Hey.
Shinji greets me when I get home, so I take some time to check out his stats. He wields an axe, a weapon with low accuracy, but he has no resistances or weaknesses, so he seems pretty reliable in combat. I pick up Aki's new weapon, then decide to finally talk to Tanaka. He says I could be rich beyond my wildest dreams if I just give him 20,000 yen, the modern day equivalent of $137. I know I'm being scammed, but I give it up anyway, as I might as well have something to do at night. Speaking of, I head home and immediately go to bed. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 4th. Let's get going. Junpei meets up with Chidori again today. He comments on how her hand is miraculously healed, and she deflects by trying to discuss philosophy with the guy whose IQ barely cracks room temperature. Junpei sits down and basically outs himself as a member of CEASE before,
For real?
Chidori cons him into spilling the beans about the group. While the Kirijo group's downfall begins, I decide to start a new segment, Fuka Friday. Now that I've maxed out my courage, I can finally help Fuka out with her problems. Unfortunately, her problem is a trope that I despise. The smart or kind girl not knowing how to cook. I'm completely forward and honest, as I think that's the best way to fix the problem. She takes it surprisingly well, and I form a bond with the dorky girl. After I drop Fuka off at the dorm, I get swindled out of another 10,000 yen by Tanaka, and decide to head to bed. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 5th, and it's a full moon. Junpei gets ghosted by Chidori.
Don't move.
Or kidnapped, I guess. Oh well. Anyway, we learn that this month's shadow is at Polonia, and with Ken not being able to find Junpei, we head there, and boy does it look sick as fuck. Fuka and Siri figure out the shadow has taken over the power cables, and luckily, Shinji overheard the head of the club talking about where the main breaker was, so we head there and find our target. I brought the boys with, and it pays off, as the shadow uses Zeo skills. I decide to play medic for the fight, and let Koro, Aki, and Shinji pull their weight. Apparently, Koro was pulling all of our weights, as he lands 2 crits after Rebellion drops, and Aki lands 1, allowing us to beat this boss in 1 try. I level up to 35, and we head back to the dorm to discover Junpei on the roof with Chidori.
Oh my god, it's got a gun!
Junpei saves us, and Mitsuru confirms that Junpei likes mentally unstable bitches, to end the day. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 6th. Let's get going. Mitsuru and Akihiko are at the hospital interrogating our prisoner. Chidori unfortunately knows her rights, and is refusing to answer any questions without a lawyer. Speaking of, her lawyer, Junpei arrives. Mitsuru threatens to take away Chidori's sketchbook, which finally elicits a reaction. Aki decides to call it, as he, too, can see this is going nowhere. Meanwhile, I buy myself a brand name watch and some snuff soles, as I'm rich as hell from the past few Tartarus trips. After some base life advice from Shinji, I head to the mall and buy a few new swords for the crew, then eat at Wakatsu. I run into Tanaka at the mall, and he blatantly robs me of my paycheck, before telling me it was all a scam. He starts talking shit, thinking I can't hear him, but I call him on it, and he runs over to try and cover his ass. I make a deal with the devil, finally confirming I will not be skipping the final boss, and head to bed when I get home. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 7th. Let's get going. At lunch, Yukari asked me to hang out after school. Fuka does too, but she has a reserved spot for Fridays. I ignore both of them, however, and head to kendo practice. The coach calls Kaz to the nurse's office, and Yuko says he's been pretty obviously favoring his knee. We followed to find out Kaz's mom is the reason Coach found out. I get asked if I knew anything, and I go to cover for him, but Kaz tells me not to lie, and comes clean. The rest of the team comes in full support no less. If Kaz had been open from the get-go, we would have supported him. After practice, I find there's not really much to do, so I hit the punching bag at Game Panic. When I get home, Kaz and I set up some plans for Sunday, and I study. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 8th. Let's get going. Mitsuru and Akihiko are bullying Chidori again, and Fuka's there to watch today. Junpei shows up again, and says that Chidori's been on his mind day and night. He notices her hand bleeding, and Akihiko says that she's been self-harming in the hospital. Junpei feebly tells her to stop, and then leaves for the day. Back to me. I decide to take Chihiro out for sweets to celebrate the new semester. She tells me she's been dreaming about me ever since I saved her from that weed. I get some Gasai vibes. She says she might finally be getting over her fear of men, and I surprise the little androphobe with a kiss.
Do it.
Apparently, that was the wrong thing to do, as not only does she flip out and call me trash, it reverses the social link. I seek out some life advice from the only father figure I have access to, Tanaka, but he teaches me about placebos instead. Maybe I can gaslight her into thinking I didn't kiss her. Oh well, I study before bed. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 9th. Let's get going. At lunch, Yuko asks if I want to go over to her house to celebrate our coaching success. After the game just straight up doxes her, Yuko breaks the awkward silence by pointing out my long, beautiful eyelashes, and asks me if I like kids. Her wording is a little weird, and I feel like I'm gonna get Chris Hansen, but I do enjoy the little rascals from time to time. She asks if I would rather have a gay son or a thought daughter, and since there's no option for both, I answer other. She replies by basically saying she wants my babies, then kicks me out of sheer embarrassment. I shrug, and take Koro-chan for a walk before studying. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 10th. Let's get going. I pranked Junpei in culture class for not listening, because apparently he has other things on his mind.
Yo, Chidorita.
Don't call me that.
Shinji visits today too, and it's a good thing he showed, as Chidori gets attacked by her own persona. He gives her some pills to help with that, and Akihiko chases him down for questioning, while Junpei gets another philosophy lesson. Aki catches up with Shinji, hands him a knuckle sandwich, and delivers the worst exposition I've ever seen. Yukari and I were literally standing right there when it happened, but we don't call attention to it. Instead, we talk about flowers, a topic I have zero experience in. Yukari plays a little pompous brat, and then goes, "Oh, look at the time," the universal girl code for leave me alone. I shrug, and after a call from Liz, I hang out with Mutatsu-san, and study before bed. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 11th. Let's get going. We start the day off with another lesson from Aragawa-sensei. Today we learn about how the Renaissance influenced the discovery of magic, in part by the people who translated ancient Greek and Roman texts. We also learn about John Dee and Hohenheim, two famous magicians throughout history. Welcome back to Fuka Friday. We're here with another episode of Fuka Can't Cook. It's made worse by the addition of a kitten who can't stand Fuka's disgusting home cooking. That's it. That's the end of Fuka Friday. I cleanse my palate, both mentally and physically, by sitting down with Mutatsu-san, who gives me a lesson on relationships, before turning into Master Roshi and asking me to pull some ladies up there for him. I head back and study before bed. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 12th. Let's get going. Ono-sensei gives us another lesson on samurai, even going so far as to skip a huge chunk of the curriculum again. We cut to Chidorito and Vic Mignogna in the hospital, where we see her performing magic on some flowers. Junpei starts talking about his childhood, and that strikes a nerve with Chidori. Speaking of striking out with women, I go on the hunt for Chihiro to fix my mistake from last week. I find her outside the library, and we head up to the roof, where she asks if she's annoying. I guess my gaslighting was a success. I get home, and find out Shinji's been buying Koro dog food, and Junpei's been having an existential crisis. I play the quiz game at the mall, and head to bed.
Hi.
Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 13th. Let's get going. I have lunch plans with Kaz, but all he does is complain about his knee hurting. I say goodbye to him and head into Tartarus. I spend a little time hunting a treasure hand in Yabasha, and after the most stressful encounter to date, I head up to Zaya, the next block. I level up a few times and miss out on another treasure hand before making it to floor 122. I notice that the boss is an enemy I fought before that's weak to Zio, so I go back to grab Akihiko, but apparently its weaknesses are inverted. Thankfully, they're weak to Bufu, so good old reliable JF helps me clear it with minor difficulties.
Hee-hoo! Hee-hoo! Hee-hoo!
I drop back down to swap the party out to give Yukari and Junpei some EXP, and after some level ups I realize I haven't exactly been keeping everyone up to par. I end the day by hitting level 42 and climbing to floor 135. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 14th. Let's get going. We get a lesson on nuclear fission in science class. It turns into political science though, when I get asked who's allowed to make nukes. Hint, it's not Japan. I ignore Fuka's advances at lunch, as it isn't Friday, and I head to kendo practice. On to the meat and potatoes of today. I spend an ungodly amount of time setting up my persona list. It goes from a full party to this tighter-knit group, as I summon King Frost and Hanuman, the latter of which is immediately fused into my sword, and then resummoned for an ungodly amount of money. Hooray, capitalism. I also make some more steroids for JF, and let him hit the punching bag before bed. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 15th. Let's get going. I run into Chihiro on my way out of class, and ask her if she wants to make out again. Instead, we end up at the library. I get home and do my classic shimmy dance over to Koromaru, who I take on a walk with Shinji. He mentions that there's a storm coming, but I pay no attention and I just vibe. When we get back, I study to end the day. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 16th. Let's get going. On the way into school, I hear a rumor about Yukari dressing up in a maid costume for the Culture Festival. I investigate the rumor after class over some takoyaki. Taco Yukari. Anyway, we get back to the dorm,
Welcome back.
and Mitsuru frets about an incoming typhoon or whatever. I realize the Culture Festival is this coming Saturday, and I go pick up my sword from the antique shop. I end the night by playing the quiz game at Game Panic and studying. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 17th. Let's get going. Yukari hits me up at lunch, but I have bigger and better plans. I go hang out with my favorite G4 television show host, Wozniak-kun, and learn that, damn, I suck at art. After club, we all go to head out, when Fuka seems to be in pain. She says she has a minor headache, and Scott responds that she should take care of it, as even minor headaches have a chance of being dangerous. He gets super invested in Fuka's brain, and my clubmates tell me he likes to play doctor. After learning that Woz-senpai is, actually autistic,
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Han, I am a surgeon!
I head out to Club Escapade, and spend some time with Mutatsu-san, before studying to end the night. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 18th. Let's get going. I head straight home from school today, as that massive typhoon everyone's been talking about is finally here. I got drenched on the way home, and everyone, i.e. Junpei, makes fun of me for it. He asks what my plans are for the weekend, and I don't really have any now that I can't see Yukari in a maid outfit. Ed Elric over here decides he's going to use this time to brag about having a girlfriend, as if I don't already have 3. Yukari expresses relief over not having to wear a maid outfit, and I call an early night. Only to be greeted by Igor. He mentions how he foresees tragedy and grants me the ability to fuse 4 personas before I start to fall back asleep.
Until we meet again, farewell.
Welcome back to Persona Every Day, and today is September 21st. I slept for 3 days? Oh well. Everyone's happy I'm feeling better, and I hope all of you are happy I'm back. Yukari suggests I get some fresh air, and I agree, and head to Naganaki Shrine. I run into Maiko, and she introduces me to someone she calls Striped Shirt. He makes sure I'm not some weirdo, then wanders off when Maiko says she wants takoyaki. We head to Octopia, where Maiko stuffs herself with octopus balls, before whining about how her birthday's coming up. She runs off, implying she'll get beat if laundry isn't done, and I head to the mall. With my newfound power Igor's given me, I decide it's finally time to let Jack Frost go. I resummon Pyrojack, and fuse Huapo and Sarasvati into Queen Mob, which allows me to fuse the persona that should carry me through the next 3 months. Black Frost.
He's black?
I resummon JF anyway, as no price is too steep for friendship. I get a call from Scooter, but I'm too busy studying to hang out. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 22nd. Let's get going. I started the day off by pulling a fortune for Yuko, but God literally tells me that it's no use. Huh. Anyway, I head to Tartarus today, with the goal of hitting the top of the current block. I come face to face with the table, and let me tell you, I definitely stubbed my toe on this one. It fires off a Miragi Dine that instantly kills everyone but me, then finishes me off with a Megidola. Megidola actually becomes the bane of my existence in this fight, as I have no way of resisting or nullifying it. I legit just have to hope that the table doesn't use it. Here's some highlights of that hot mess. I figure out a strategy that requires me to avoid one Megidola, that uses magic mirrors to reflect Miragi Dine back, but the boss randomly decides to start using Evil Smile, so I just walk on through it. I level up to level 43, and I hit floor 139. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 23rd. Let's get going. They're running a one-day special film festival, and I invite Shinjiro. He seems hesitant, considering the movie's an animal survival documentary, but as we walk out of the theater, he looks like he's been crying. I drop the big softie off at the dorm, and finally tell Ikutsuki-san I'm sick of his jokes, before heading to the mall. I sell some stuff and play the quiz game, finally maxing out all of my social stats. I get a call from Chihiro when I get back, and we make plans for Sunday. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 24th. Let's get going. There's a lesson in class about stress, but since I'm a genius now, I take a nap. I wake up for lunch and discover that Chihiro and Scott both are obsessed with me. Afternoon classes get cancelled, and my class has to help clean up after the cancelled school festival. We head to the science room where the photography club had everything set up. After some light banter that is probably the best dialogue I've seen in the game, like seriously, it makes us actually come off as classmates, Junpei walks in with some supplies, but he forgot the bubble wrap. He tries to trick Kenji into going to get it with the allure of hot babes, but Kenji doesn't fall for it. We get back to cleaning, and old boy says he's sad the festival didn't happen, as he planned to go up on stage for a comedy routine with one of us. We all reject his proposal, and get back to our lives. I head to Kendo with Kaz, and then hang with Mutatsu-san. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 25th. Let's get going. Kaz comes up to me at lunch, but I ignore him, as it's Fuka Friday. We go to the strip mall, and Fuka tells me that in order to get better at cooking, she wants to cook my favorite food. Hint, it's chicken parm with spaghetti. She fishes for compliments, and I'm half tempted to tell her off, but we have a working relationship, so I decide to play nice. I navigate these social traps beautifully, and after dropping her off at the dorm, I go hang with Mutatsu-san. He starts our interaction off with a drunken rant about my hair, which is kind of funny, as IRL I recently just got my hair cut. He says I should shave it all off, and I play along, saying that might be cool, but he lectures me on how hair isn't fashion, it's just hair, and I'm gonna lose it all eventually. All this old man speech is making me tired, so I head to bed. Welcome to Persona Every Day. Today's September 26th. Let's get going. Our math teacher's sick, so Edogawa stands in. In place of a math lesson, he teaches us about numerology, a form of magic founded in part by the Pythagorean theorem guy. It's actually a neat lesson on how numbers can correspond to different things. I leave class to go hang with Yuko, but she seems a little pissed at me. I have zero clue what I did wrong, and she confronts me on the roof. I successfully gaslight her into believing that she's the problem, and then ditch her to walk Koro with Shinji. He shows a little concern for me being sick, and after promising to make Koro some food, we head home. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 27th. Let's get going. I almost forgot I set up a Sunday date with Chihiro, so we go and get coffee at Cafe Chagall. She apologizes for how weird she's been acting, but I distract from the gaslighting and manipulation to ask if she wants sugar for her coffee. She says yes, and I learn she has a bit of a sweet tooth. I give her a present, a book cover, because, well, 1, she's a nerd, and 2, she loved it anyway, so I walk her to the station, and then head back to the mall to play Mole Whackers with Black Frost. I head home and go to bed, and Pharaohs comes in to remind me that there's a full moon in a week.
Good evening.
Why does everyone keep warning me about October 4th? Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 28th. Let's get going. During math class, I fall asleep, thanks to Pharaohs interrupting me last night. At lunch, Fuko really wants to hang, but I tell her my autistic schedule dictates that she hangs with me on Fridays. Instead, I head to kendo practice, where Coach calls a meeting just to bully Kazushi about his knee. Speaking of Kaz, me and him head to ramen, where he professes that he's starting to feel like a burden to everyone, including me. I try to cheer him up, but the mood is soured, so we dip. I hit up Game Panic for my daily dopamine, and Black Frost hits Punching Bag for his strength increase. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 29th. Let's get going. Since Yuko is nowhere to be found, I decide to take Chihiro on a date, since I guess we're also dating. Yikes, haven't visited them in like 4 months. Chihiro finds a series of books she really wants, but she's too broke to buy them. I definitely have more than enough to remedy the situation. In IRL, I genuinely would buy her the books right then and there, but alas, the game does not allow me. She hides them, and we go to leave, and overhear a bickering couple. Chihiro hits me with some profound philosophy about some people wanting desperately to cling to things they're losing, and I ponder that thought as I head home. When I get there, Fuka says there's a new video to watch, and wouldn't you know it, it's footage of her room. My voyeuristic fantasies coming to life, I watch as Fuka worries about her figure in her swimsuit, then tries on one of Tanaka's bogus devices. Mitsuru knocks for Fuka, and...
Yes, I'm coming!
Whew, boy, I can't wait to see that in Reload. I have to go. Welcome to Persona Everyday. Today's September 30th. Let's get going. I finally get a chance to hang with Yuko, but we end up just getting burgers. I get home, and I get reminded again that October 4th is coming up. It's like everyone wants me to be anxious going into the next operation. To calm my nerves, I head to Game Panic and pull a Lucky Fortune for Black Frost to increase his magic stat.